And welcome to Hannity tonight. Another big win at the U.S. Supreme Court, this time surrounding your freedom of religion. Now, full detail straight ahead. We'll interview the coach that was at the heart of this big ruling today. Also, Nancy Pelosi likes to say that she will take a punch or throw a punch for kids. Last week, the speaker caught on tape actually throwing an elbow at Congresswoman Mayra Flores' young daughter. Congresswoman Flores will respond. Also tonight, we begin with the left's weekend of rage and despair and lying and fundraising emails even. Roe v. Wade is no more. Democrats have descended into a state of full-blown lying hysteria yet again. Now, keep in mind, this decision did not outlaw abortion in America. Instead, they decided who will decide. They returned the issue to the states to decide. Your elected officials. So ultimately, the American people will decide, allowing voters to debate, decide the rules and regulations surrounding abortion in their respective states. But Democrats, they're not interested in honest debate. So over the weekend, they took to the streets. Now, some proudly displayed very graphic, vulgar signs like this one here, calling Justice Amy Coney Barrett a, well, I can't even say it. Another sign telling the justices to burn in hell. Others evoking coat hangers, displayed cartoon genitalia, and stated that God was pro-killing babies. One common theme at all the demonstrations in America, that we are doomed and the Supreme Court needs to go. In other words, they are calling for an insurrection against a co-equal branch of government. Now, the New York Times even detailed what they call a step-by-step plan to discipline the U.S. Supreme Court by impeaching justices and packing the court. And according to top Democrats, well, one way or the other, the U.S. Supreme Court must be punished. Take a look.
This court has lost legitimacy. They have burned whatever legitimacy they may still have had after their gun decision, after their voting decision, after their union decision. They just took the last of it and set a torch to it with the Roe versus Wade opinion.
And thanks to how this court was put together, its credibility has never been more in question. And this decision came at a time when the country is already dangerously divided.
There must be consequences for such a deeply destabilizing action and hostile takeover of our democratic institutions. To allow that to stand is to allow it to happen.
Now, the hysteria was even worse in Chicago, where failed Mayor Lori Lightfoot had this to say about Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. Take a look at this.
Now, we know what happened with the Supreme Court yesterday. And if you read Clarence Thomas' concurrence, he said, thank you, Clarence Thomas.
Oh, you Clarence Thomas!
He thinks we are going to stand idly by when they take our rights.
Now, remember, the mayor is one of many Democrats who promoted violence against the court. In May, she issued a call to arms and claimed that the court was coming for gay people. Even worse, 2 years earlier, Democratic leader, that's right, Chucky Schumer, he threatened justices right on the steps of the U.S. Supreme Court, saying, you have released the whirlwind, Gorsuch and Kavanaugh, and you will pay the price. You won't know what hit you. What did that mean, Chuck? Because now violent left-wing groups are now showing up at their private homes, meaning the justices. One man had a plot to assassinate Justice Kavanaugh. Meanwhile, other left-wing groups are committing huge acts of violence all over the country, all in the name of abortion rights. Over the weekend in Lynchburg, Virginia, vandals targeted a pro-life pregnancy center, spray painting, quote, if abortion ain't safe, you ain't safe. Another pregnancy center in Colorado was lit on fire and spray painted with a similar message. In Portland, Oregon, private businesses all over town were damaged during a violent pro-abortion riot. Numerous windows were smashed. There was also more spray painting, more graffiti. One message reading, quote, kill the Supreme Court. Meanwhile, out in L.A., one rioter was arrested for attacking a police officer with a makeshift flamethrower. In Arizona, pro-abortion protesters there attempting to storm the state Senate building and trapping lawmakers inside. According to one state senator, quote, we are currently there being held hostage inside the Senate building due to members of the public trying to breach our security. And we smell tear gas, and the children of one of the members are in the office sobbing with fear. Unfortunately, fake news CNN, MSDNC, they love insurrection talk, but apparently not now. They love covering it only if it advances what? Their political agenda. Democrats, the media mob, only seem to care about democracy when it's politically expedient, safety, security. They only speak out against violence when it advances their political cause. And, of course, they never let a crisis go to waste. In the hours following the Roe decision, top Democrats, they were trying to raise money. What a shock. The DNC asking people to donate $25 to protect abortion rights. Nancy Pelosi asking for $15. Beto Bozo O'Rourke, he was only begging for $3 a person. And then there's President Joe Biden. Instead of leading the fight to, quote, restore abortion rights, he's off to Saudi Arabia. Why? He's going to that, what he called pariah nation, to kiss the ass of the crown prince that he claims is responsible for killing journalist Jamal Khashoggi. But he's there to beg for oil because he's letting domestic production lay by the wayside. We have enough resources to supply this country with oil and gas for hundreds of years. Now, this week he made a pit stop in Europe, and frankly, he didn't look too well during a photo op. He looked dazed and confused, at times staring off into space, unable to hold down a simple, basic conversation or be present during meetings with these world leaders. Needless to say, between Biden's cognitive struggles, the horrific state of our economy, the general woke lawlessness on the left, voters are leaving the Democratic Party in droves. Look at this. In the past 12 months alone, more than 1 million voters have now switched their party affiliation to the GOP. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.